Good morning. Welcome back to the old man's unkept garage. In my past videos, I've been using my phone. I decided to break out my camcorder, see if I can get a little better quality, more stability, and it just has a few more options. And I wear reading glasses, and I never did notice that when I'm flipping my glasses up and down off my head, it's making my hair stand straight up. So now I'm wearing a ball cap to prevent that, so maybe I look a little bit better anyway. But today we're going to talk about connecting rods, how to clean them, and in the process of checking to see if they're out of round, where to check it, how to check it with the tools that I have available. And also we might even touch on connecting rod length if any of you are interested in that. So stand by, we're about to get started. Okay, first off, you need to thoroughly clean the connecting rod bolts. And also, while you're looking at the connecting rod studs, you need to look for any kind of wear or damage that's on the threads. This will affect your torque when you go to torque it down. Now, I like to use a small stainless steel brush to clean the threads out, okay, before I ever do anything. And also, if you notice inside the connecting rod, you can see all kinds of stains in there. Those stains take up space, okay? So clean them up with Scotch-Brite, the finest you can find. The inside should look like that. Now, one other thing. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this side is beveled, okay? That's to let oil out. It's the same on the connecting rod. The other side is a flat machined surface. There's no bevel to it. This surface, okay, or has a very small bevel to it, but this surface will be where the two connecting rods meet on the journal. This big smooth surface here, okay? Beveled surface goes to the outside. Another easy way to check things, the little notches that are in the ends of the crank journals or the rod journals, they go together. That's an easy thing to do. Okay, we got this. Now, in order to check to see if you have a rod that's stretched, first you need to clean it up, and then we're going to torque it down to the factory specifications. Alright, in my case it's 40 pounds. I already have this old torque wrench set up. I've had it for years. Anytime you use a torque wrench, always unlock it and roll it back to zero. Okay, it'll make it last a lifetime. Now we're going to torque it down carefully. Oops, going the wrong way. There we go. Just till it clicks. There it is, click. I don't know if you've noticed the vise. I'm using paint sticks inside the vise jaws to protect the rod, and they're just taped on there with duct tape. Remember to protect what you've got. Okay, now we're back, and you can see I have the rod already torqued down and it's clean inside. Alright, now measuring the space here where you have where the two pieces come together, you do not want to measure directly across. The way you want to measure is, first off, not really accurate, I'm looking at backwards here. Anyway, straight up and down, and then diagonally across both points. So you're looking at this way and this way. Very close to that gap, but not actually in it. Now, the mic that I'm going to use was my father's, and it's old, very old, alright, and it's pretty daggone accurate. Now, you see the gauge here? When you close it, it should go to 0 and it should be straight up and down, okay? If it is not, there's some kind of junk built up in here. Use that stainless wire brush or Scotch-Brite pad or something to clean it up, because you don't want trash in there while you're trying to take accurate measurements. You want to get it right. Now, if your gauge, if you're confident that it's clean and the gauge is not on 0, the little thumb screw down here, you loosen that up and you turn it back to 0, okay, and then you tighten that back down to prevent the dial from moving. Once you've done that, you're good to go. And it's handy to have a pencil and paper to write down what your measurements are on all your rods, and then figure out whether you need to have it have them bored, or whether you can just leave it alone. Good luck to me. Let's see what happens. In order to get accurate measurements on the rod itself, I purchased from Amazon, and I hope you can read that. It's a bore gauge. The brand is High Eagle, and it costs $46. Okay, now, in order to use this, I use my caliper. Get a pencil here so maybe you can see better. And here is a general ruler. It's just a regular old ruler. So I'm going 2 inches, 0.2. Okay, because I know I'm a little bit over that on the connecting rod. Now then, you have to lay this, and it's a little bit of a challenge. I'm not on a flat surface. Anyway, you lay this inside the caliper, right? And then use 0 while you have that held in there. Use 0 by loosening this little knob. you zero the dial on 0, okay? And don't worry about this little one here. That's actually a full inch, the little tiny dial. And then you lock it down. Now that I've screwed everything up, Lord have mercy, I wish I hadn't done that, but anyway, when you insert the gauge inside here, you rock it back and forth, okay? When you see it hit a peak, make it repeatable, go over it several times. So I have 2.24, looks like 1. And I know that you're seeing the 6. Alright, now I'm going to press the 6 in, which is going to, or press the gauge in, which makes it smaller. But according to the black numbers, it's actually larger. That's not what you want. You want to look at the little red numbers. Okay, that's 90 under, 80 under, okay? So by going to the smaller number, and you're working backwards according to this thing, but it will give you a really good reading. Put it on a stable surface, work it back and forth. On the outer edge, and get a reading there, and go to the inner edge and get a, you can't see it from my hand, get a reading there, alright? And then you're going to clock it here. Get a reading here and on the top, and then you're going to go the other direction. And when you do, you need to make sure that you miss the grooves in here that hold the ring in place. Don't try to measure on top of that, because it'd be whack. So you're going to have to come outside of that just a little bit in order to get it correct. All of my measurements are within 1/1000ths. Now how do you read 1/1000ths? Now you know I set the gauge to 2.2. Alright? Now I got 2 inches, 0.2, which I set. Alright? And then when you using the gauge, the red number will be your next number, 2, if you can see that in front of my finger. And then the little lines here will give you your last number, 1 through 9. And that will get you in there. Now you noticed I have the rods stacked, and I don't know if I can make you see this or not. Probably not, but I'm going to try anyway. See if I can find one that is well marked, where it's really visible. Okay, now while you're still assembled, the engine is still assembled, and you're looking down through the oil pan hole, some people, you notice you see 5. engraved on both sides. That's the upside of that number piston hole. Okay? Some people use a punch, whatever you got to do, but this will keep you from crossing up, say putting the number 5 rod in the number 1 hole, and it will also prevent you from putting the number 5 rod cap on the number 1 rod if you're careful.